In that case, I would like to officially call to order the Thursday, January 21st, 2021 meeting of the Bolton Conservation Commission, and pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, subsection 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Bolton Conservation Commission is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that a person who would like to view a record of this meeting while in progress may do so by visiting the Bolton Access Cable Television or review the minimum review the minutes, which will be posted to the town website, where you will find information to call in as well. And as always, by tradition, we will start with a roll call. I am Brian Barabee.
Emily Winter.
You're muted.
William Payne.
Jeff Bryan.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right. First up this evening, the Bolton Conservation Commission will now continue the public hearing under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40. This public hearing of the Bolton Conservation Commission, again, is being conducted via remote participation. This public hearing is to consider the notice of intent filed by Dillison Roy Civil Engineer Group, Inc. for David Spurtner for the proposed Woods at Farm Road construction consisting of 2 single-family dwellings, private well, septic system, and associated infrastructure subject to a comprehensive permit under Mass General Law, Chapter 40B, with the removal of the existing farm structure on the site. The location of the proposed project is located at Assessor's Map and Parcel 3.C, Lot 72. Rebecca, do we have an update on this one? I know we had some things to add to a possible NOI. I was looking at the draft you had put together. I'm seeing everything we discussed in there. Is there anything I am missing or any other updates?
There isn't, aside from Seth was able to get the revisions on the plan as requested by the commission during the last public meeting. I believe Seth is present, or I thought I saw it. Yes, Seth is present. Brian, if you would like him to summarize what was added to this plan set that I'm currently displaying.
That would be wonderful, Seth, if you could give us a quick rundown of exactly what Rebecca was just saying.
Well, good evening, commission members. This is Seth Donahoe with Dillison Roy. I'm sorry I had to leave your last meeting a little bit early, but Attorney DeShane filled me in on what you had requested. So we ended up switching the erosion barrier detail to a wattle and silt fence detail that was requested in lieu of a hay bale and silt fence detail. We showed on the existing condition sheet the location of the failed catch basin within Berlin Road. And then on the grading sheet, we have details specific to its replacement. So a full deep sump hood with a hood catch basin will be put in. And it's actually on the sheet prior, Rebecca. Those are on-site manholes on the right side of the screen.
Oh, I apologize. One moment.
It's no problem at all, but it is indeed on there. So we have specifications for what it's to be backfilled with and how it's to be constructed. And the final thing we added is call outs to install permanent markers at the limit of work. And they are in the same spot as the erosion barrier throughout the plan. And it's my understanding that the order says it can be either boulders or markers, the commission's preference on that. So we didn't call out a specific item. The intent is for the order of conditions to require what's going to be there. So those were the 3 changes we made. If I missed anything or if you need any details on those, I'm happy to provide them.
No, thank you. Those were the notes I had of the switches that we were putting in or the changes. Do any other commission members have comments or questions regarding this at this point? Rebecca, do you have any updates or thoughts on the current plan?
I do not, unless the commission has any outstanding concerns or questions, but they certainly have addressed and they've been willing to accommodate many of the inquiries and concerns of the commission and or accommodate conditions so that it can address some of the concerns that the commission has had throughout the public hearing process. And those were incorporated into the draft decision that you have before you this evening, which incorporated some changes from the last meeting and discussion items.
Okay. Are there any members of the public here to comment this evening?
I see none.
Okay. In that case, unless anybody has any outstanding concerns, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we close the public hearing for the Woods at Farm Road Assessors Map and Parcel 3.C Lot 72. Do I hear a second on closing?
I second.
Right. All those in favor, starting with Emily Winter,
Aye.
Bill Payne,
Aye.
Jeff Bryant,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we issue an order of conditions for the Woods at Farm Road Assessors Map and Parcel 3.C Lot 72 as drafted, developed, and submitted at this evening's meeting. Do I hear a second on that?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, starting with Emily Winter,
Aye.
Bill Payne,
Aye.
Jeff Bryant,
Aye.
and Rebecca, I'm an aye as well.
Cool. Thank you. So Seth, I will have that to you as soon as the commission signs the document. I will send you an electronic copy, but of course the mailing of the hard copy is what is the issuance date. So I will be mailing that as well. Can you just confirm where I should be mailing that to? Because I have a few addresses in my folder and I just want to be sure.
Let me confirm with my client, and I
Okay.
will send you a quick email just saying where the original should go, because it is not to me. I do appreciate the electronic copy, but I'll get the address from them.
Okay, perfect. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, thank you, commission members.
Thanks, Seth.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to
Rebecca.
stop. Yes.
Did we have a time for the ANRAD?
We need to wait until that time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but we have, if Emily wanted, because I apologize, I didn't include the minutes on this agenda. Emily can discuss the letter of support inquiry she had,
Oh,
Sure.
if you would like.
please, yes.
So there is some legislation that's been sitting at the state. Coyotes out back. I was trying to figure out what that was. Sorry. There's some legislation that's been sitting at the State House since January of 2019. It was approved by Dean Tran at the time that he held office, and has not. It was. I guess he was fully supportive of it, and I don't know the technical details about who signed it and who didn't. But it has been, that's very distracting, I'm sorry. It has been kind of sitting stagnant for about 2 years. And basically it is in regard to 40B developments. And it has to, excuse me for 1 second. No, go. Come on. It's okay, honey. Sorry. Excuse me. So basically it has to do with the loopholes that exist in the 40B laws that make it possible for certain wetlands regulations to be waived. And basically, as we're seeing, a lot of I'm trying to not thinking of the word. not delicate, but,
Sensitive.
Sensitive, yeah.
sensitive. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of sensitive areas we're seeing turning into 40B that maybe wouldn't have accommodated as much development as is possible through a 40B. So the legislation that's in covers, I believe, 7 or 8 separate bills. I have not had the opportunity to review every single one. I had a very hard time navigating the site. It was sent to me by a member of the community that lives in the vicinity of Still River Commons proposed project. And I had asked Rebecca if it would be something that either commission members would be willing to review and potentially send a letter of support to the State House, or if we should, as a commission, have a letter of support that is signed by the entire commission. But it would basically address the loopholes that exist currently. So we would see less 40B development of sensitive lots, if that makes sense.
I think, Emily, that point is important to highlight because it's not against 40Bs as a whole, because
No.
in every town, under what's required now, there are places for it. But what it is focused on is in those very sensitive areas that local regulations may protect. It basically gives another opportunity to review how it goes around those regulations and is there a happy medium, basically.
Correct. Yes, thank you, Rebecca. That is such an important point to make, that this is not a general issue with 40B housing, which is obviously so important and necessary and much needed. But it's more so of protecting natural resources and sensitive, sensitive areas and habitat and groundwater and stormwater and streams and wetlands. And basically, if this bill were to get passed, then the regulations would still hold. And I believe that the town bylaws would still hold. So, but again, I unfortunately have not had the opportunity to read every single bill that is bunched into this package. But I did send Rebecca the link to it. It is on the state page. And actually, if you went to the state page, it's under 40B legislation. And then under that are all of the sub laws that have been kind of grouped together in this one package. So, and from what I understand, it hasn't really made it through a lot of, there hasn't been a lot of like review or signatures on it currently. So, and I've also, I let Rebecca know, I've reached out to Bolton Local is going to be reviewing it. And I don't know if that's going to be an individual support or if that's going to be done as a group, but similarly, just trying to find as many people that are interested in this to kind of show their support and send letters.
So I think it's a good introduction, and that's why I wanted Emily to bring it up, because she reached out to me and I said, bring it forward during a public meeting. We can have the discussion. If the commission wants to vote at the next meeting to issue a combined letter that's generally about the regulations itself, and then of course related to the bill, that may be suitable. Or if there are personal interests about it and the commission feels that it is better addressed individually, then that is fine. But again, if it comes from the commission, it has to remain fairly general.
Oddly enough, I remember when this first came around. I mean, when you said 2019, Emily, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. But I do remember when this first came out. If Rebecca would be kind enough to share the links that Emily shared with her with everyone, I would think this is something we should put on our agenda for next time.
Sure.
I agree with Rebecca. If we were to vote on it, would have to be general and specific to the Conservation Commission. And then, of course, I'd like to review the bill first, but then after reviewing it, anybody who would want to also send a personal letter, I would encourage them to do so. But I would definitely think we should discuss it and possibly send one out as a commission.
I think that's great. And if anybody can figure out how to navigate the state site and could share that, I had a very challenging time finding each individual piece to the puzzle. I don't know if anybody is more well-versed in the state website.
I can try and send you a better breakdown, and hopefully it's a little bit more helpful, but it's an interesting site to navigate.
And all the language on the site too is very challenging to work through.
Yep.
I believe at the time Kate Hogan was in favor of it, or there may have been exactly kind of like what you were saying, Emily. There's a lot to the bill, so I think she might have had some questions on some, but I think as our local rep, she also was in favor of it. So that should hopefully help us.
From what I understand, I don't think she signed it.
And I think it was questions about some of the other stuff that's in there.
Okay.
But I think some of the local bylaw stuff she was in favor of. Again,
And we
we'll
can
have to
certainly
review
reach
on our
back
own.
out. Yeah, we can reach back out to her just to be sure we're not misunderstanding her feelings as well. And I think that may be a good opportunity for the commission as well, whether or not it's a letter directly about this bill, but a letter to our state representatives to see what their feelings are on it, I think would be helpful as well.
Yeah.
Great. All right, so if we could get that on our agenda for next time for discussion. I'll do my best to take a look at it.
Yep.
Takes two of us. I would too.
We're 7:15 now, right? Are we okay to advance now? All right. So the Bolton Conservation Commission will now continue the public hearing for consideration of the abbreviated notice of resource area delineation submitted by Nicole Hayes of Goddard Consulting on behalf of the property owner for the property located at 460 Main Street, Assessors Map 4.D, Parcel 28. Rebecca, do you want to give us an update on this? We were waiting for confirmation of one feature to see if it was there or not. And could you give us a quick rundown?
Nicole, I believe, is also on here representing the applicant. And she was on site with me. We conducted a site visit on Wednesday, and walked the property. Where the anomaly is, there is nothing matching it on the ground. So I will be following up with our IT and with the assessors, because I'm not positive if there's any ability to take that out or if it comes straight from the USGS maps. But when I pulled it up on Mass Oliver, or USGS through Mass Oliver, it also didn't show up. So, and that was prior to going out to the site. And like I stated, when we were on the site, it's mostly ledge and upland within that area. So I don't have concerns that there is something there, but I think it was valuable, and I appreciate Emily bringing that up, because that's exactly what we need to do, is go out and confirm where these areas have questions, or where we have questions about these areas.
Okay. So with the blip turning out not to be something of concern, I know we told Goddard Consulting we didn't really have any other major questions or issues with this. Has that changed? Are any commission members that have strong feelings, issues, or questions about this? All right. Anybody here from the public tonight to comment on this?
I see no one in the chat, and I see no one raising their hand.
That all said, I'd like to make a motion that we close the public hearing for consideration of an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation for 460 Main Street, Assessors Map 4.D, Parcel 28. Do I hear a second on closing?
Second,
All right, all those in favor, starting with Emily Winter,
Aye.
Bill Payne,
Aye.
Jeff Bryant,
aye.
and Rebecca, I'm an aye as well.
Okay.
Would I, if I so decided to, would I make a motion that we accept the ANRAD as submitted at this evening's meeting? Is that the best way to close this?
So you would make a motion, if the commission so chooses,
Yep.
to issue an order of resource area delineation that establishes that the bordering vegetated wetland, which is the resource area depicted on the plans, and then just reference the date of the plans as accurate. So you're issuing an order of resource area delineation for the bordering vegetated wetlands as depicted on the plans.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion that we issue an abbreviated order of resource in area delineation for 460 Main Street, map 4.B, parcel 28, as drafted, as submitted this evening, explicitly establishing the bordering vegetated wetlands as delineated by the wetland flagging on the plans titled Plan of Land in Bolton, Massachusetts, property for David Kane, signed and stamped by Alfred M. Berry, PLS, with a revision date of 1/12/21 and a scale of 1 inch to 40 feet. Do I hear a second on that?
A second.
All right. All those in favor, starting with Emily Winter,
Aye.
Bill Payne,
Aye.
Jeff Bryant,
Aye.
and Rebecca, I'm an aye as well.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, Nicole, if you are still on, I will, once the commission signs the decision, could you please let me know what is the best address to mail that to so that we can fill in the issuance date?
Sure, it'd probably be David Kane.
Okay. So if you want, if you can just send me an email with whatever the confirmed mailing address is, that would be much appreciated, and I will get that to you as soon as the signatures are on it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Aye.
All right. I basically have to wait for the next one, right? Don't know if we can start early. I know there's no public comment on this one, but I'm still waiting.
So it's not a public hearing.
Okay.
It's just a vote.
Okay.
So it can be started out of order because it wasn't associated with a specific time.
In that case, as long as everybody's ready, I will move ahead. So the Bolton Conservation Commission will now continue the deliberation on the issuance of a decision, regarding the notice of intent filed by David Russell of Turn Left LLC for the proposed Still River Commons, the construction of 4 single-family dwellings, access driveway, and supporting infrastructure to as part of a comprehensive permit under Mass General Law, Chapter 40B, the location of the proposed project located at Assessor's Map and Parcel 8.B, lots 32 and 33, formerly 8.B, lot 32. If we can recall from our last meeting, we had kind of drafted our decision. Rebecca was kind enough to send around the most current draft. I had a chance to read through it today. I did not have issues. It seemed to hit on everything we had discussed. But I will open it up to commission members if people have further questions, comments, issues with it as it stood. Okay. We've already closed public comments. So I know we can't take public comment, but Rebecca, do you have any final thoughts on this?
No.
Okay. I don't have to close it. But I'd like to make a motion that we vote to deny the project proposed in the notice of intent filed by David Russell of Turn Left LLC for the proposed Still River Commons construction for single-family dwellings, access driveway, and supporting infrastructure subject to a comprehensive permit under Mass General Law, Chapter 40B. The location of the proposed project is located at Assessor's Map in Parcel 8.B, lots 32 and 33. Denied due to a lack of sufficient information and expertise to review the NOI, determine the extent of impacts on jurisdictional areas, in particular, a possible perennial stream on the project site and a perennial stream in the north of the proposed project area, and due to a refusal by the applicant to fund the necessary peer review, and order that the work on the project may not go forward unless and until revised notice of intent is submitted, which provides sufficient information. Do I hear a second on that?
Second.
All those in favor, starting with Emily Winter,
Aye.
Bill Payne,
Aye.
Jeff Bryant,
Aye.
and Rebecca, I'm an aye as well on that one.
Wonderful, thank you. And that is the last item we have on the agenda tonight.
Rebecca, can I ask you a quick question? Is this the one that has to be signed before next Tuesday?
So,
I mean,
yes.
the one
Yes,
Still River.
but, yeah, but all the documents that the commission has issued this evening should also be signed before next Tuesday.
Right, and they gotta be in the box?
Yes, I will put them in the box, either this evening or first thing tomorrow morning,
Thank you.
so that by the time you're up and looking to get coffee, you can make a coffee run to sign the documents. But don't spill on them, please.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you for the reminder.
Sure. And I just one note, I do see someone on here who typically attends another item that has been on the agenda, and that item was continued to the February 2nd meeting. So just to note. But aside from that, Brian, there's no other items on the agenda.
Oh my gosh. So, well, nobody's a big fan of 2 meetings in a week, but at least we get a short one. Any other new business by commission members that they want to bring up, or a song they would like to sing, poetry recited? So it has to be short though, because, all right, hearing none. I'd like to make a motion that we hereby adjourn the Thursday, January 21st, 2021 meeting of the Bolton Conservation Commission. I hear a second for that.
I second.
Second.
Always a rush to second this one.
It's a great one.
We'll start with Emily. All in favor of closing, starting with Emily Winter,
Aye.
Bill Payne,
Aye.
Jeff Bryant,
Aye.
and Rebecca I am, and I myself.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.